I also just really want to talk about Venom weapons because I feel like a lot of players misunderstand how it actually works and why it's so good and why particular Venom weapons are exceptional and others not so much. So, if you haven't noticed already, Venom weapons are tier 6 uniques that drop from, well, you will be able to get the resources, rather, from the amalgamation. Now, the way that Venom actually works, it's not simply poison that stacks, although it does have a slight damage over time, just like poison does. It's a lot more than that, and the reason why it is so effective is when you attack things, you'll notice that, including players, that the percentage of venom above their head will increase. When it is at 100%, what that means, that percentage is how much true damage you are now dealing. True damage, or what is it, pure damage, is basically how much you are ignoring whatever entity you're attacking, how much you're ignoring their armor stat. So the reason why Venom really speeds up long boss fights is because you're just completely bypassing that armor stat that the boss has, and are therefore going to do it a lot faster. So the rule of thumb with choosing whether or not to use Venom or not is, well, there's two things. First of all, is it going to be a long fight? If yes, you probably want to use Venom, but please have a think about as well whether or not you're going to be hitting the enemy a lot, because it's not going to be very effective if you're hitting the boss once in a blue moon, if you've got a slower attacking weapon, and you never get that percentage very high. There's not really any point to using it. Most Venom weapons are quite good. The one that seems to get a really bad rap is the sword, and you might think, well, why is that? Because the sword, you're going to quite easily, you're going to be attacking quite fast, you're going to be getting that venom percentage up to 100%, no problem. You're not wrong. I think that the Venom sword isn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be, and a lot of people don't seem to understand why it is less useful than a max T6/T7 sword. So just quickly to explain that, that is because the role of a sword is to pump out as much just raw DPS as possible. That is its only role, really, because you're either going to, in a fight, have someone agging the boss for you, and your role is just to pump out that damage, or in cases like CG, even if you're doing it solo, you're going to switch to the sword at moments that you can put out that raw DPS, but you're not going to just be using the sword, which means when that happens, you've already managed to stack Venom, I'm hoping, using a different weapon. So there's really no point. You would rather have just more damage pumped out rather than using a Venom sword. So, for example, in CG, I might be doing it. I don't know, Wand is not a good example. That is another one where you're using the wand mainly for DPS. Say I've got like a Venom axe and I've stacked some Venom, or the Ag might be using a dagger, so you're stacking the Venom and the Puncture. So you've got other weapons to use. You might be using a Venom Whip if you're agging Amalg and you're sort of new to it. Anyway, point is, Venom is going to be done by either someone else or a different weapon. And that is why for sword, you just want to put out that lots and lots of damage. With tier 7, just the wand, because of how much it does when it is fully upgraded to max, everyone goes for the max rather, the max T7 rather than the Venom wand. I personally think that the Venom wand is quite decent. That might be an unpopular opinion, but opinions that everyone seems to share is that the Scythe and Whip are the most, they are brilliant Venom weapons, because you can use it in solo bosses, where you can have lots and lots of control, and it's really just going to speed it up. So, for example, Goblin or Slime, you could use this. And like things like Rogue Warlord, you could use this. Yeah, they are fantastic. If you're doing Spikefish, for example, on hours on end, a Venomax, you're going to be able to stack it quite well. So Venomax is also quite desired. Same with daggers. Maces, I even think are quite brilliant, especially for Reapers in CG. And also, well, the bow. The bow is okay. You depending on how you use it. If you're going to be using your bow mainly to do a preparation power shot, you probably want the max one because you're just doing one off hit every now and then just for a lot of damage. In PvP, I mean, this one here is set up to just be absolutely toxic, and you can just barrage spam and stack up Venom like that.